Welcome back to the second half of the Bobby Dupre Show. And just in case you missed the first half, Andrew Guitros.
Good morning.
Sidekick.
I made it.
We had I think, a good, well, we had a lot of good pictures. That kind of, it looks like the people like the pictures.
They like to see themselves on TV.
That's right. And then a lot of times they get to be part of it, or a relative, or a co-worker.
And we only showed a small portion of what we took pictures at the Breakfast with Santa. Next week we'll have more photos of that, and also the Christmas party for the cerebral palsy kids. So you can also see these photos up on the photo gallery after this week's show.
On the death side, a lady who I didn't know, but both you and I know her brother very well, Andrew, better known as Nutsie Quirk. And I'm speaking of his sister, Patsy, and she's better known as Pat Quirk, and married to a porter. She was age 82, and she was living in Denver, North Carolina, not the Denver, Colorado.
Right.
And Nutsie was at our breakfast on Wednesday.
Comes every year.
And I had tried reaching him, and he told me he was over there. I said, well, I left a message. What about that, Betty? Did you get? Yeah, I got the message, Bobby, that wishing that, offering our condolences. Nutsie is just a long-time friend, and with her age of 82, a person that died that I just spoke about was Mason Perro,
right.
And he was about that same age, so they probably at one time or another went to school probably together. So our deepest sympathies on the death of Pat Quirk Porter. And Deborah Ann Pete. She was 59 years old, and she's a sister of Donnie and Gerard Perron of Opelousas now, both of them. They're all from the Chattagna-Ville Platte area originally.
Jared with Sleed, and Donnie, of course, now the new superintendent of St. Andrew Parish.
St. Andrew Parish. And that's correct. And Debbie, I think they called her Debbie. The funeral took place, must have been Monday. I know Joe Fred had called me, and I've been under the weather with this stretching of the muscles.
From the shoulder to the neck?
Yeah, to the neck. It's really been bad, and fortunately today while we're taping the program, no pain, so hopefully I don't look all cockeyed and bent out of shape like I have looked lately. But anyhow, our deepest sympathies on the death of Debbie Pete from the Ville Platte area. And another person who died was the LSU board chairman, Mr. Benjamin Mount, and a relatively young man, and his wife is Miss Willie Mount. She's a Louisiana state senator. She ran for Congress at one time.
That's correct.
They're out of Lake Charles. And
close friends with former Governor Kathleen Blanco. They duck hunt together, she and Kathleen.
They had a picture when Kathleen was running for governor. They had a picture. You showed me that picture because you knew that I was with, and you said, when are you going to get to go hunting like that? I said, well, I don't hunt. So anyhow, I missed out on that. But Kathleen is an avid hunter, and still not just to run for public office.
Right, good role model for my little girl. My little girl's interested in doing all sorts of things, so I like to show her what Miss Mount and of course former Governor Kathleen, how much they've accomplished as ladies.
And Darlene Henderson, age 48, a relatively young person from Opelousas here, died. And her daddy was Jimmy Henderson, and of course he and I were about the same age and knew each other well. My sympathies to the Henderson family on death. And I tried placing Dr. John Cobb. There's somewheres in here, I think shows Opelousas. And yeah, right here. John was a native of New Iberia, and he was a longtime resident of Opelousas. He grew up here. I didn't personally know him, but that's the death of John Cobb, who was a doctor in the Lafayette community.
Port Barre Christmas Parade is going to be Saturday, December the 10th at 5:30 p.m. In years past, they've had the Christmas Parade during the day. Now they're doing it in the evening. This Saturday, December 10th, 5:30 p.m. They're going to line up, I think, right there in what they call Frisco. And they're going to go all the way down Saison Street. So if you want to go by, Take a look at him. Tell the mayor over there we said hi and that he looks good for a man that's just had a 100th birthday party.
Yeah, that's right. He had celebrated his 100th birthday. I was talking to Susie Peck, and I was telling her that one of her sons had come and did some work on my television reception. And the son is Blaine Peck, and he's the oldest, she said, of the family. And Blaine did a great job. I mean, when I told him, when he walked in, he asked me what the problem was, Mr. Bobby. I couldn't ask him his name. I had to get the name from...
When they know you, you hate to say, I'm not sure if I know you.
No, you. So I didn't say anything. I put Bob Carey on to it, and Bob ran it down for me. He found out and called me back, and I kidded her about that. Well, she said, you can't remember all the names. But I said, well, thank God I remembered after a little while. I remembered seeing the young man before. And that was when I pulled my muscle when I was trying to move the
TV set,
the
furniture.
set and the furniture, and pulled it just when I was younger. I didn't try to do those. I had somebody to do it. Now I'm getting too old for those kind of jobs, and then I tried to do it, and I'm gonna pay for a few days. But anyhow, Blaine did a great job.
And her other son did a good job with those Santa Claus pins. Huh?
That's the Santa Claus pin. That's the pin. That's correct.
How about some other sponsors here? Let's go with...
And the daddy is Dupre, by the way.
That's right. Long-time man in law enforcement. How about Dr. Kerry Thibodeau? If you're looking for a general surgeon, Dr. Kerry Thibodeau is your man. If you're looking for specializing in vascular type work with the veins, if you got some healing issues with your skin, he is the expert, wound care treatment expert and board certified. Go by Dr. Kerry Thibodeau right there in the Opelousas General Health System. Been in business over 20 years here. And one more, I'm going to cut you off. You see what I'm doing, huh?
Yep.
How about Washington State Bank? All your banking needs. Miss Sue didn't get to make it this morning, but she sent us a nice note thanking us again and sending us a nice little donation and complimenting us on the work. Washington State Bank.
Well, good.
Thank you so much for all the stuff you do in the community. If you're looking for banking, from personal to commercial loans, if you're looking for 24/7 internet banking, they've got all that as well. You can do all your reconciliations online, so you don't have to worry about doing the paper. Even can pay your bills online using Washington State Bank's computer system. Locations in Washington, Opelousas, Arnaville, Leonville, and Palmetto.
The Nativity. You know where the Nativity is located?
Over on the Courthouse Square.
That
across
would
from
be the south
Palace. That would
west.
be the west.
Southwest
south
corner.
Yeah.
Yep. And the lighting took place. The program comes in on Thursday morning. Took place Wednesday night, right here in Opelousas.
I saw the Opelousas Catholic art kids went and helped to refurbish. You know, the statues are 50 plus years old, I think, or 60 years old, and they touched them up and cleaned them up and all. So that's very nice.
Well, good. At one time, there was a lot of I don't know, discussion and more publicity. I hadn't seen any publicity in a few years. Maybe it passed me by and I didn't see it, but it looks like, well, they have a submitted photo. They used the photo that was submitted. And what about this crash that took place in Japan? On one of these super highways that's kind of open to the speed as long as you are being careful. The limit is no limit, basically.
Right.
And we have some places like that in Montana. When we travel there on our motorcycle, we'd get up to 100, 115 miles an hour.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do that now.
Why?
Well, that sore shoulder would be hard to make that turn.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. I'm not going to do that now. I'm getting a little... That was a few years ago. Not that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago. I remember when y'all went to Mexico and y'all went to Canada.
Yep. Anyhow, supercars. What's the story on them? Real fast.
A whole bunch of those Lamborghinis and all, and Ferraris.
Were Ferraris. There were 8 Ferraris, a Lamborghini, and 2 Mercedes, worth well over $1 million. And I mean, they crashed, and of course that fiberglass that all these vehicles are made of, it just pops off the whole thing. It must have been something to see. And they don't talk about anybody being charged, and nobody got hurt or nothing. I guess they were all wearing their seat belts. You see that?
Benny's Supermarket. Go by Mr. Benny's. Let me tell you, it's a good time to go. Their produce second to none. Right now, the bananas, 2 pounds for $1. How can you go wrong with that? The meat department, all the roasts are beautiful, all stuffed and ready to rock and roll for you. I know swung by there Saturday and picked up a roast already stuffed and seasoned, ready to roll. Just dropped it in the pot. Had a good sauce going in time for the LSU game. They've also got a great wine selection, beer selection, imported beers in the back. They've got the 7 days a week deli. They do catering for you as well. Miss Mary's gift shop with some Christmas ideas right now. Little Benny Sports Shack for your nutritional supplemental needs. You know, a lot of people are starting to work out. Some people are losing some weight, getting back in shape.
Yep, that's
and they
me.
might be taking those nutritional supplements as they're working out on that treadmill. So
got a treadmill too.
Go buy Benny's.
I've talked about this, and I don't know if probably over the years I've spoken when you were, in the group, and talked about Walter Amahari. Walter Amahari was a student at SLI, which is now UL of Lafayette, and he was a world-class champion weightlifter. Right. And Ramp and I talk about him pretty often. And he actually, when he graduated from college, he went into business in landscaping and really did a bang-up job. I mean, this young man has really done well. Well, he's about 75, our age. And this is a picture of his yard that he's developing. It's not completely developed yet, but it's around 50 acres that he bought around St. Francisville. Yeah, man. Between the town of St. Francisville and the Mississippi River.
Pretty area, you know, it's kind of hilly and spots around that area.
And there's a picture of him, and like a lot of the Japanese, you see the thick glasses. It's amazing how many Japanese have eyesight problems. But
I've got some thick ones too.
We've talked. Ramp and I have talked to him. In fact, Ramp texted me that he had seen today on my cell. I didn't get to call him, but tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, Ramp will be able to listen to me. And we were fascinated. He was a small fella, and he would outlift anybody in the school.
Yeah, he was a weightlifter.
Weightlifter, yes, sir.
And a little guy.
And very small, you know, different weight.
Right, the weight classes.
Weight classes. But he pumped the weight with the big boys.
Excellent.
And did a great job. So, Walter, you did our group going through SLI a lot of good. Thanks, buddy.
How about the Quarters Casino and Travel Plaza on I-49 North on exit 23? It's a Chevron. It's locally owned with the whole remodeled casino and bar. Emphasis on customer comfort with 50 video poker machines with the newest models, your old favorites as well, from penny, nickel, and quarters, $1,000 payouts. They got drawings every Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday with money giveaways, and Fridays they do it as well. And on the Chevron side, they've got a Subway, they've got a crispy, crunchy chicken, they've got the El Pico de Gallo Mexican restaurant with real authentic Mexican food where they do 2-for-1 margaritas every day from 3 for $9 with your meal. Go by and tell GM Pat Willis we said howdy.
How about our boy Tim Tebow? Watched any of his games lately?
All he does is win. I got to watch him again, and all my, you know me, I'm a gearhead for football, and all my friends say, man, I just can't watch him because he just doesn't do anything correct. I said, well, at the end of the game, that W is correct.
It's correct.
Very correct.
5 out of 6 games. In fact, that last one might have made it 6 out of 7.
And it's a combination of things. It's the defense has stepped up. It's the fact that the schedule has fallen pretty good for them as well. The timing was good to try him. Is he going to be their long-term solution for the next 20 years? I don't see that. But he's a guy that they'll better use for some time. And he's going to fit. I mean, he just wins. He just goes out there and works hard and wins.
And he's got a tremendous head on him. He's very intelligent. And he has God with him most of the time because he's a very, very religious Christian young man. And takes it seriously.
KSLOC, another side of 3.
Whenever they have a break, when the season ends, even when he was in high school, he had started doing missionary work.
He went last summer and built a hospital. I mean, took a summer off. You know, these other guys, you read about them in the news, they get in trouble here. They went in some place. One of them shot himself in the leg. This guy goes and builds a hospital.
Yeah. No, he is some nice young guy. And we have a lot of them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not.
I kept up with Shaq O'Neal as an example. Right there.